Let's chat about what's on my wish list. Hi, my name is Sarah, and welcome to my channel, which is all about sewing and styling a handmade wardrobe. I just completed a 75 no-buy challenge, and during that challenge, since I wasn't purchasing anything, I did start a wish list for myself so that I could collect things that I wanted to make or to buy, so that after the 75 days, I could prioritize what I wanted and decide if I really wanted to purchase it or not. I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I did purchase, and then also some ideas of things that I'm thinking about making this winter. Now, this is not a plans video. I'm not making plans to actually make these things. This is more like a little bit of a snapshot of what's going on in my head, the kinds of things that I'm looking for, that I'm thinking about, but I'm definitely not going to actually make all of these things. But these are the kind of items that are currently on my mind. So first of all, I'll go over the purchases that I have made. I bought one pair of shoes that has been on my wish list for pretty much the whole 75 days, and I bought them secondhand from Poshmark. I don't have them on hand to show you yet because they're still in transit. What I bought was a pair of Blundstone boots. Now, I have been wearing my black Chelsea boots and my burgundy Chelsea boots so much this fall, and I think I'm going to continue to wear them into the winter. But every once in a while, I would have an issue with an outfit that I wanted to wear, like maybe something in a gray or a navy or a lighter tone, where the black just seemed a little bit too harsh, but the burgundy maybe just didn't go in terms of it being too warm for the outfit. So what I really wanted was a pair of gray or navy Chelsea boots. So the Blundstone boots that I bought are technically called rustic black, but they're made of a nubuck leather and they're more of a soft black. And I've watched a lot of videos of this particular style, and it does fade over time to more of a gray, like a charcoal gray color. So it's pretty much what I was wanting, and I was able to purchase them secondhand for a significant savings. Then I bought a few things that are not very exciting, but I thought I would just include them anyway. I bought myself some new underwear, some new gym socks, and some new tights. Quite a few of my winter tights are old and worn out, or they just never really fit that well to begin with. So I went ahead and replaced a bunch of those things. And then I did buy two fabrics, which are actually supposed to be delivered today, but they're not here yet for me to show you. I took advantage of Fabric Wholesale Direct's Black Friday sale, and I bought two pieces of fabric to make more pants for my husband. This time I'm going to make ones that don't suck. If you want to know what I'm talking about, make sure you watch my previous video, and I will link that up in the cards. But I bought some more of the Mason Chino twill that I purchased for the previous pants that I just made. And then I also bought some corduroy so that I can make him two more pairs of pants, and hopefully he'll be all set for this upcoming year. Now onto my wish list for things that I haven't purchased yet, but they are on my mind. The first one, I actually could really use your help. A few years ago, I bought a bunch of merino jersey from the fabric store in New Zealand, and it's just a really good quality fabric. It is expensive, but to me, it's worth it. I made a bunch of long sleeve tops for myself and also some for my husband. My husband absolutely loves his t-shirts, and he actually wears them year round. I have no idea how he does that, because if I tried to wear mine in the summer, I would sweat to death, but he wears them all year long. So the ones that I had made him in the past are getting to the end of their lifespan, and so I do need to replace them. But the problem is that now with all the tariff situation and all of that, I don't really want to buy from the fabric store anymore because it's already very expensive, and then having to pay tariffs on top of that, I think it's just going to be too much money. So I have frantically been searching for a US source of merino jersey fabric, and I'm just not finding it. I've bought other kinds of merino jerseys in the past from other places. I think I got some from Fabric Mart and maybe some from Denver Fabrics. But the problem I had is that one of them that I got was super, super itchy. It wasn't comfortable to wear at all. And the other one that I bought just fell apart really quickly. It wasn't good quality. So if anyone has a source for really good quality merino jersey, something that's similar to what the fabric store has, but they're located in the US, could you please let me know? I am desperate. I do have certain color preferences that I think that my husband would like, but at this point, I would actually just be willing to buy any color if it's available and if it's a nice quality, because he does wear them as undershirts most of the time, so they don't really need to be visible. But that is definitely something that's at the top of my wish list. If I do find a good source, I will buy this fabric and make some things for my husband. So that's the first item that I wanted to share. The rest of these items are not anything that I'm in a hurry to acquire. It's just more things that are on my mind. Earlier this fall, I did a little exercise where I went through Pinterest and Instagram, and I just pinned outfits that were interesting to me, that were things that I thought I might want to take inspiration from. And I found myself pinning multiple times these Cezanne trousers that were a gingham print. I don't have any kind of check or pattern pants in my wardrobe, and I do think that it's something that I could get a lot of wear out of with things that I already have. So I have looked for fabric, but it's really tricky because the only thing that I'm finding in gingham is more lightweight fabric like cottons and linens, more summery types, and I'm looking for more of a structured bottom weight, and I haven't found it yet. However, I was thinking that I could maybe scratch that itch by using some fabrics that I already have in my stash. So I'll show you the ones that I have. This fabric I got from Metro Textiles a few years ago, and it's a really heavyweight textured cotton. The only thing about this one is that I was kind of saving it to make a funnel neck jacket. So I really need to decide whether I would prefer to have a jacket or whether I could make these into trousers. And they're not obviously a gingham print, but they are a nice window pane check, and I think that I could scratch the itch with these. The other possibility that I have is this Ponte knit that has also been in my stash for a few years. I got it from Style Maker Fabrics. I think I have 2 yards of this, but it's not super wide. So I'm a little bit concerned that I wouldn't be able to get like a wide leg trouser. I might have to do more of a tapered leg. So I don't really know if I want to use this one or not. And it is also not a gingham, but I figure it's kind of close. It's sort of a houndstooth check. And that might also fulfill the purpose of what I'm wanting to add to my wardrobe without having to buy anything else. Let me know what you think between these 2 fabrics. Which one you would choose for a pair of trousers? I think either one could be really nice. They're both neutral. And I already double checked on the Sézane website, and those trousers, I think they would cost me like $180, including shipping and taxes. And that's just too much money for me to spend on a pair of pants that I know I honestly wouldn't wear all that much. It's not like they would be a staple that I'd be wearing again and again every single week. So I would rather just make my own version, even if it's not exactly identical to the Sézane ones. The next item on my wish list is some mini skirts. Now I have a few mini skirts already and I don't wear them all that often, so you might be asking why I'm thinking about making more. But I think the reason that I'm not wearing my mini skirts is because they don't fit me very well. The ones that I have, I found that they're pretty tight across the upper thigh area and they want to ride up, and so I'm constantly tugging on them, so I don't want to wear them. Whereas if I had a mini skirt that actually fit me the way it's supposed to, I think that I'd be perfectly fine. And I do think that mini skirts, especially in the wintertime, they work really well with my style. I can wear them with tights and boots. There's lots of different tops and sweaters and ways that I could style a mini skirt. And I do have a couple of patterns that I've had for a long time now, and I haven't made them yet. I've wanted to make the True Bias Blair skirt for a while. And then I also found this one on Unfettered Patterns. It's a free pattern. It's a very, very simple skirt that just has a slit in the front. And I do have a number of fabrics in my stash that I could use for it, so I wouldn't need to buy anything. The first one is that I actually bought a bundle of corduroy. So I have a few different colors, but I just pulled out this one. This is a nice chocolate brown needle cord. I think that this could be really nice for the Blair skirt. I also have a charcoal gray color that's the same fabric, and then I think I might also have like an ivory and a pink as well. So I have plenty of options for a corduroy skirt, and I'm pretty sure I have enough quantity to use any of these fabrics for the Blair. So that was one item that I was thinking about. And then the other one is this fabric that has been in my stash for an absolute eternity. I got it from Fabric Mart. It's 100% wool. And the reason why I haven't used it yet was because when I got it in the mail, it was actually a lot thicker than I was expecting it to be. In my opinion, it's actually a little bit more on the side of like a coating weight rather than a suiting. But I think if I lined it, I could probably deal with a mini skirt out of this. And I think that the Unfettered Patterns would be a good one for this because it has a facing, so there's no waistband that I have to worry about matching up. And then it does have the slit in the front, but I think that's really the only seam that might be a little bit tricky to get matched up perfectly. And I just have plaid on the brain recently, maybe because it's trending, but I've just really been wanting to add more plaid pieces to my wardrobe. And I think that this could be a really cute little mini skirt, especially for the holidays. But even after the holidays, I could continue to wear it. So this is another thing that's on my wish list at the moment. The next one is another thing that I'm a little bit undecided about. So I made my black wool pinafore dress like a month and a half ago, and I've really loved it and I've been enjoying wearing it. And I did have quite a lot of this fabric left over, so I definitely have enough to make another project. So I've also been thinking about possibly adding a long black skirt to my closet because I don't have anything like it. I think that a long wool skirt would be really warm and really cozy. So it's something that I think would be very practical and useful. The main thing that's stopping me is I'm not sure what style of skirt that I want. I think that I either want like a half circle midi skirt, so something very feminine, very flowy, or I would want a long pencil skirt. And I just can't quite make up my mind which silhouette that I would go for. And so let me know if you have any strong opinions either way. I would definitely line the skirt no matter which option that I chose. But then the other idea that I had for the rest of this fabric is I could make like a cropped jacket, like a barn jacket maybe with a contrasting collar and cuffs out of corduroy. So that's another idea that I've been thinking about. But at least right now, I think I'm leaning more towards making a skirt. I just have to decide which style of skirt that I should pick for this fabric. Next on my wish list is a knitted hood. Now these are very, very trendy at the moment, so I admit that I'm influenced by that, but the reason why I want to add this to my wardrobe is because I think it was last year or maybe the year before, I made this hooded scarf. And every time I wear that scarf, it's always shocking to me how incredibly warm it is because the fabric that I made it out of is kind of a thin synthetic faux fur. I wouldn't think that it would be very warm, but there's just something about the hood, I think, putting it up and having it block out the wind that just makes it really, really warm and cozy. And so I think if I had a hand knit version made out of wool, that it would just be even better. It would be perfect for those days that are super, super cold outside when you just don't even want to go out there, but you have to sometimes. So I have two patterns that I was thinking about. One is more of a garter stitch based one, and one is more stockinette. I've never knit from either of these designers before. They seem like they're pretty popular. And I would definitely use some yarn from my stash. I was thinking about maybe using some of my hand spun, but I'm sure I have plenty of options if I just go through my stash and pick something out. So although I'm not in any real rush to knit this, I haven't bought either of the patterns yet. And I do have a ton of wool beanies that I continue to wear during the fall and winter, but I do think it would be nice maybe to add something like this hood to my repertoire just for those super, super cold days. The next project on my wish list is a series of shirts. I really enjoy when people do those YouTube videos where they compare patterns for similar garments, and I've wanted to do something like that myself for a while. And shirts is a good option for me because I have a ton of shirt patterns in my stash that I haven't even sewn yet. And I love making shirts. It is literally my favorite thing to sew. But until recently, I haven't felt a need to be adding multiple shirts to my wardrobe. But recently, I found myself needing to replace some shirts that I've grown out of. And I've also wanted to add some different styles of shirts. Like I want to add some more fitted shirts to my closet because I'm just wearing things like my pinafore dress and then more wide leg pants. Having a little bit more fitted shirt on top, I think is going to be helpful to balance out the outfit. So I could see myself adding a couple of those to my closet. I didn't pick out any specific fabrics for this one because I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. If I'm doing like a true battle, then I would want to use similar type fabrics, like use all cotton lawns or cotton shirtings or rayons or whatever, but not mixing up between the different types. But on the other hand, if I'm talking about practicality for actually adding items to my closet, it probably would be better to choose a variety of different types of fabrics so that I don't end up with like 3 identical shirts in my closet. So I'm not quite sure which direction I want to go yet. But in 2026, I'm thinking that is something that I'm going to add to my project list because it does tick a lot of boxes in terms of getting things in my wardrobe that I need and also creating content for you guys. So like I said, I haven't delved into specific fabrics and I haven't chosen patterns yet, but it is definitely something that is on my mind at the moment and something that I am leaning towards doing next year. So those are all of the items that are on my wish list for winter at this point in time. Things are always subject to change. Things will get knocked off, things will get added. Like I said in the beginning, I'm definitely not going to make all of these things, but I hope you enjoyed hearing about what's on my mind at the moment. Let me know down in the comments what is on your wish list for the winter season, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere for the summer season. I always love chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.